They told us the dream was dead. The American dream, gone. We even made a video about it, the death of the American dream. But what if that dream didn't die? What if it just evolved? What if it quietly left the neighborhood, crossed the ocean, and rebuilt itself somewhere new? Not in factories or suburbs, but in penthouses, passports, and property portfolios scattered across the world. Because that's exactly what happened. The dream didn't vanish. It changed shape. It changed language. It stopped being American and became global. The original dream was simple. Work hard, buy a home, raise a family, retire in peace. For generations, that formula defined success. It was about stability, security, belonging. You didn't need to be rich to live it, just consistent. But that version of the dream no longer fits the world we live in. Inflation destroys savings, housing prices explode, and stability, the one thing we were promised, has become the hardest thing to buy. So maybe the question isn't what happened to the dream, but who still gets to dream? Mark Matson knows that question better than most. He's the founder of Matson Money, managing billions, teaching people how to invest their time and their capital. But what he learned is brutally honest. Money has never made man happy, nor will it. The more of it one has, the more one wants. He thought that helping people grow their wealth would give them peace. But what he found was the opposite. The richer people got, the more anxious they became. The more they owned, the more afraid they were to lose it. Their houses became vaults, their investments became cages, and their lives, no matter how luxurious, were filled with fear. Matson says this obsession with money comes from a misunderstanding of purpose. We think wealth brings fulfillment, but chasing more just feeds the cycle of dissatisfaction. His message is clear. Without meaning, no amount of money will make you feel safe or free. It's not a theory for him. His story started in poverty. His grandfather worked in the coal mines of West Virginia, living in a small shack so cold that rats would crawl in through the cracks in the walls. They used old milk cans to block the corners and keep the animals out. It was survival, not prosperity. When Matson's father escaped that world and bought a modest home, his own father, still trapped in the mindset of scarcity, looked at him and said, "How many people did you have to rip off to buy this house?" That's how deep the resentment ran. To one generation, success looked like betrayal. Matson eventually understood something powerful. Every family builds its dream on the pain of the one before. His grandfather's suffering gave his father the strength to rise. His father's courage gave him the opportunity to think differently. And that's the part of the dream that's still alive. The will to redefine what freedom means for yourself. But here's the twist. While Matson sees the dream as emotional and spiritual, others have turned it into something global. A lifestyle that the rich can now buy, trade, and expand beyond borders. Michael Milken, a man once defined by Wall Street, now by philanthropy, says that the American dream was never really about personal wealth. It's about freedom. Freedom to live your life is essential, he said. And what isn't essential, personal wealth. Those are strange words coming from a billionaire. But Milken has seen both sides. The illusion of success and the emptiness it hides. He founded the Center for Advancing the American Dream right across the street from the White House. Not to celebrate wealth, but to rebuild the idea of opportunity. Inside, the walls don't talk about cars or mansions. They talk about four things: health, education, entrepreneurship, and finance. Four pillars that, according to Milken, are the real foundation of freedom. But even those pillars are crumbling. Health has become a privilege. Education is a burden of debt. Entrepreneurship feels like a gamble. And finance, the system meant to empower people, now seems designed to confuse and control them. Milken warns that your future shouldn't be limited by your zip code. Yet in today's world, where you're born still decides almost everything. Your lifespan, your access to healthcare, your chances at prosperity. The irony is brutal. We call it a free world, but opportunity still depends on geography. And so the rich changed the game. They stopped fighting for equality inside one system and started buying freedom outside of it. The rise of citizenship by investment programs and global real estate markets isn't random. It's strategic. They're not buying homes, they're buying exits. Think about it. A person can now invest in property in Portugal or Malta and receive residency, even citizenship. For them, it's not just real estate. It's insurance. Insurance against political instability, economic collapse, or simply the feeling of being stuck. They're diversifying not just their portfolios, but their identities. This is the new global dream: mobility. Freedom used to mean having roots. Now it means having options. The rich don't dream of white fences, they dream of open borders. But what about everyone else? The rest of the world is still trying to buy into a dream that's already been sold out. Ordinary people are told to save, to invest, to be smart, but in markets they can no longer afford to enter. The average person works harder and ends up with less, while the elite quietly move their assets, their companies, and even their citizenships wherever the conditions are best. It's not equality anymore. It's geography arbitrage. And in the middle of this shift, a new class of people emerged: the digital nomads. They were supposed to be the bridge between the two worlds. Entrepreneurs with laptops, moving freely from country to country, living the dream of ultimate freedom. But even that is changing. Rodolfo Delgado, who studies global real estate and digital mobility, says the nomad lifestyle isn't dying, it's maturing. During the pandemic, remote work became the symbol of independence. Work from anywhere, live on your own terms. But now, major companies are pulling people back to offices, governments are tightening visa policies, and geopolitical tensions are reshaping the map. The work from anywhere fantasy is starting to meet reality. Delgado puts it simply: freedom without structure is chaos. That's the new law of the global economy. The dreamers who survive aren't the ones chasing beaches and cheap Wi-Fi. They're the ones building systems. Those who combine flexibility with discipline. Because the world no longer rewards freedom, it rewards resilience. He's seen it firsthand. Friends moving between countries, chasing low taxes or new experiences, only to burn out from constant instability. Eventually, they all realize the same thing: you can't build a meaningful life if you're always running from it. This is the paradox of the new global dream. Everyone wants freedom, but freedom itself has become a product. Milken's exhibition in Washington is a perfect metaphor. It's full of interactive screens where you can visualize your potential. It's designed to inspire. But step outside that building, and you're surrounded by a world where even potential feels priced out. The modern dream is built on contradictions. We live in the most connected era in history, but people feel more isolated than ever. We have infinite information, but little wisdom. We can work from anywhere, but nowhere feels like home. And yet, within that chaos, there's something beautiful. We're being forced to rethink what freedom really means. Matson believes that the original dream, the one built on greed and entitlement, needed to end. Because the real dream isn't about what you own, it's about what you can create for others. His father used to say, "Nobody owes you anything." It's a harsh truth, but a liberating one. It means you're not waiting for permission to start. That's what ties Matson, Milken, and Delgado together. Three men who in their own way are redefining freedom. For Matson, it's about mindset. For Milken, it's about legacy. For Delgado, it's about adaptation. Together, they paint a picture of a future where the dream isn't national, it's personal. But there's a darker side too. Freedom has become a currency. You can now trade your birthplace for better opportunities, if you can afford the entry fee. That's not freedom. That's privilege. And that's why, for most people, freedom still feels like something you have to earn twice. Once with hard work, and once with luck. Matson's story reminds us that wealth without awareness leads nowhere. Milken's work shows that legacy without inclusion means nothing. And Delgado's warning about structure tells us that chaos disguised as freedom will eventually collapse. So what happens next? Maybe this global transformation is a chance. Not to mourn the old dream, but to build a better one. One that isn't built on nationalism, greed, or comparison, but on purpose. Maybe freedom today means understanding how to live intentionally, not endlessly chasing what others sell as success. Because even though the rich are redefining freedom, you don't need billions to reclaim it. You just need clarity. Freedom might not come with a passport or property deed, but it starts with perspective. Mark Matson's father changed his family's destiny not by winning the lottery or inheriting wealth, but by asking a different question. How can I create prosperity for others so it comes back to me? That's the foundation of a sustainable dream. One built on contribution, not consumption. The truth is, we're not living through the death of the dream anymore. We're living through its migration. The American dream became the global dream. And now it's up to us to decide whether we'll chase it or redefine it. Milken says the essence of the dream is freedom. Matson says happiness isn't for sale. Delgado says structure is the key. And maybe, just maybe, they're all right. Because freedom without meaning is emptiness, wealth without purpose is fear, and structure without humanity is just another cage. The world has changed, but dreams don't die. They evolve. And maybe the new global dream isn't about owning the world. Maybe it's about not letting the world own you. Watch the next video and see how the people who understand where the money's moving next always win. And if you're serious about staying ahead of that shift, hit subscribe. You'll want to see what's coming next.